There once was a family who lived in the outskirts of the city of Metroville. This was not an ordinary family, but rather a family that fought internal and external villains. This family was of superheroes, known as the Incredibles. Although Bob Parr is known as Mr. Incredible, he really isn't incredible due to the fact that he suffers from PTSD. Bob has PTSD from a mission he was on 15 years ago, when he was still an active super. Since he suffers from PTSD, Bob has flashbacks of his mission and it causes him to have nightmares. During one of his flashbacks, Bob injures his boss after his boss tries to keep him from stopping a mugger. Bob saw the mugger as a villain from his mission 15 years ago. Bob ended up being fired from his job. Helen, also known as Elastigirl, struggles with the phobia of cashews. Although the rest of her family makes fun of her absurd phobia, she has a legitimate reason for being afraid of cashews. In her early days as Elastigirl, Helen was on a mission to stop the villain from destroying the local supermarket full of hostages. It just so happened that the cashew truck was in the back alley beginning to unload a shipment of cashews. Elastigirl and the villain were fighting for a while before the villain got loose and ran into the alley. Elastigirl took off after him, and the next thing she knew, the cashew truck being pushed on top of her. All of the cashews spilled out of the truck and littered the ground around her. Elastigirl lay under the truck for what seemed like forever before Mr. Incredible showed up to rescue her. Her unfortunate experience led to her developing a fear of cashews. Helen had and been continued to work with a therapist to try to diminish her phobia. Savant is a villain that suffers from Savant syndrome. The youngest of the Parr family, Jack, suffers from dissociative identity disorder. At random times, Jack will dissociate himself from his true identity. Although he cannot use his superpowers now, this may cause problems when he is allowed to use them. It would be a disaster if a superhero dissociated during a mission. Violet is Bob and Helen's oldest child. When she was a child, Violet brought so much joy to her parents' lives, but now she suffers from major depressive disorder. Violet has suffered depression through the later years of her childhood because her parents would not let her use her superpowers. Due to her depression, Violet also became anorexic. She was so depressed that she couldn't bear to eat hardly anything. Although Dash is a young child, he is a cocaine addict. He started using drugs when he was little due to the fact that his parents wouldn't let him use his superpowers. He was influenced to use drugs because the high was more favorable and he didn't care about the consequences, and he was intrinsically motivated to get high off cocaine. His drug of choice was cocaine because it gives him the best high out of all the drugs he has tried. Since cocaine is a stimulant and speeds up the nervous system, this makes Dash seem crazy and irrational. Lucius Best, or Frozone, is Bob Parr's best friend. On the surface, Frozone appears to be normal. However, in reality, he suffers from obsessive-compulsive disorder. He likes to keep everything in a certain place, and everything is always clean. Sometimes his wife moves his things around, and this can cause Frozone to lose his marbles. Once he was prepping for a mission, Frozone couldn't find his supersuit because his wife had moved it. In order to prevent things like that from happening again, Frozone has kept a lock on his closet, so he knows that he is the only one with access to his supersuit. The superhero costume designer Edna Mode has played a huge role in the lives of the Parrs and Frozone. Aside from making their supersuits, Edna is also their therapist. She uses an eclectic approach since she is treating a variety of disorders and problems. Eclectic therapy allows Edna to treat each of her patients with different methods. One quiet summer day, Savant showed up in the city of Metroville. His goal was to attack as many citizens as possible. All of the Incredibles run towards the city to save Metroville. Dash and Violet chase after Savant. Frozone then freezes Savant to stop him. Then Dash and Violet get rid of Savant.
I'll just do it like this. So
Yeah.
oh wait, I'm not supposed to talk.
Oh wait, hold on.
Why would